Questions and comments? The honourable member for Timmins James Bay.
It's important for Canadians to know that the Conservatives have erased their own Opposition Day motion in order to amplify falsehoods from Donald Trump. There was a time when if Canadians were threatened by a foreign power, Canadians stood up with backbone, but not under this pusillanimous and predatory member who lives in Stornoway. So Donald Trump threatens 25% tariffs. They say, damn straight, let's do that, and claim falsely that our border is leaking fentanyl. And why is it all leaking fentanyl? Well, they claim it's because the leader of Canada created a fentanyl crisis. They will say anything, do anything to burn our house to the ground. But what they won't talk about are the thousands of CBSA employees that Stephen Harper fired when Jean-Pierre Fortin, who was the national president of Customs, called out the Conservatives and he said, more child pornography entering the country, more weapons, illegal drugs that will pass through our borders, not to mention terrorists and sexual predators and hardened criminals. That's the Conservative record, but they don't give a damn, because if it's about burning this house to the ground to get to the Prime Minister, they will burn the country to the ground and inflict 25% tariffs on us while imitating anything Donald Trump says. They are sock puppets and traitors.
That's right.
Madam Speaker.
The honourable member for Sturgeon River Parkland.
Madam Speaker, I think that language is very unparliamentary, that any member would accuse another honourable member of being a traitor to our country. Yeah. That member from Timmins James Bay is simply putting his head in the sand when he tries to claim that there is not a fentanyl issue in our country. We know that our ally Australia is Australia's fentanyl supply. The majority of it is coming from Canada. We cannot ignore this fact. We need to take action to save Australian lives, to save Canadian lives, to save American lives, and to save our borders with the other country. And by trying to just ignore that fact is not taking responsibility on behalf of Canadians. And taking responsibility on behalf of Canadians means looking at it squarely in the eye and taking action on the real issues and not burying our head in the sand like that NDP member.
And comments? A brief question. The honourable member for Yorkton Melville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As an initial catalyst to the current extreme and growing drug crisis Canada is facing at its borders, this government removed mandatory minimum penalties for drug dealers. How incredibly inappropriate is it for this government to signal more leniency on drug dealers right now? With premeditation, they are benefiting more than ever from the addiction and death of Canadians.
From the honourable member for Sturgeon River Parkland.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank my colleague for that question. We know that when mandatory minimum penalties are removed, that the frequency of criminals who are repeat criminals, like these aren't just people that commit one crime and get rehabilitated, but the instance of repeat criminals increases on our street. And when I talk to law enforcement, they tell me it's the same people they're apprehending over and over and over again. We need tough penalties to get tough on the drug dealers who are peddling death in our communities. We can no longer let this Liberal government stand idly by and let that happen. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Have a point of order. The honourable member for... Oh, yes. Sorry, it's the honourable member for Miramichi Grand Lake. Oh, sorry. Simcoe North, sorry, just one seat over.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I was just curious, is it parliamentary language to use the word or claim that someone is a traitor in this House? I'm just looking for clarification on the rules and bounds.
Did not indicate a specific person was a traitor. He didn't say it was a specific individual. However, the word is raising an issue, and I would just ask members to please be judicial in the words that they use in the House.